going to have Richard Wayne Hansen sing the national anthem.
What? I would say that he is very talented if he's going to do that too.
I bet Rich Mancuso's got some pipes. Can you sing, Rich?
No. What did he say?
We are live. Good morning, everybody. I'm Todd Collins, and we're here at the America First Warehouse. What's the saying? The most patriotic place
in all of the land. That's Joe the Box. First, I just want to thank I want to thank my Lord Jesus Christ, because for him we would have nothing. But for him, we're also here now to educate some people, to help people. This is to help people, not to get somebody to buy something. This is to help you and buy a better future for yourself. All the time we have events here at the America First Warehouse, we would ask everybody to stand up so we could say the Pledge of Allegiance to get ourselves started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Justice for all. That's what we want. We want justice for all. We love America. Thank you so much for coming here. Again, this is something that we're all going to gain from. It's nothing that we want you to buy. It's going to be something that's going to change your future like you won't believe. Thank you for being here, guys.
Thank you, Johnny Blanket. So again, my name is Todd Collins, and I want to start this event out today by welcoming the veterans that are here. This is a pre-Veterans Day weekend event. There's a couple of our great veterans sitting in the audience. If you are a veteran, would you put your hand up right now? Thank you. Thank you all. So we're here today with Bob Reed, and we're going to learn a whole bunch about silver and gold, and something that's very near and dear to Bob's heart. Bob has been a veteran of first of all, which branch were you in?
Army.
You were U.S. Army too? Same. Good job. So Bob he's been around 38 years buying silver and gold. Bob is in his 77th year of life? Is that
79th in a couple of days, wow. November 17th.
Almost 79 years old. And he's been buying gold and silver since it was first discovered, I believe.
38 years.
38 years ago. And Bob is going to share with us a little bit, a presentation this morning about silver and gold and some of the things that he's learned and a great way to purchase some silver and gold. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to you. Carry on.
Thank you, Todd. Really appreciate that. And welcome, everyone, for a way to help yourselves and a way to help other patriots and a way to help Joe the Box, John the Blanket, and the America First Warehouse. We know that they have brought much to all of us with this beautiful patriotic building. And they provide a lot of great information to many others who broadcast from here. And so what we believe is to help Joe the Box, John the Blanket, the America First Warehouse, and all of its followers. And at the same time, help you. I've been in gold and silver for 38 years, and it has been our financial savior. Of course, our savior is Jesus Christ for eternal life, but our financial savior has been gold and silver. We've unfortunately had a lot of circumstances in our lives where we've lost a lot of money in the stock market. We kind of lived through the flat 70s, the terrible 80s, and then, of course, the dot-com crash in 2001. But gold and silver is what saved our lives financially. And it can save your lives and others, because, you know, if the wealthy and all the governments and everyone have gold, just think about that. That's what I discovered 38 years ago. Everyone needs some gold and silver, and why haven't they taught us about it? You know, I got an MBA after my chemical engineering degree from LSU, and they never taught me a thing about gold and silver. And your financial advisors, they don't teach you anything about gold and silver. In fact, most of them tell you don't get it. Now, their tune has been changing of late. Now they're saying, oh, well, we need to diversify. You need to have about 10 to 30% in gold and silver. Well, we should have always had that, and we're going to talk about that today. So we're going to talk about how to build a wealth strategy. Is that okay? Yes. Great. And so with that, I'm going to try and go forward. And building a wealth strategy, and we can build it through God's money, sound money, gold and silver. Why don't we call it God's money? Because man can't make it. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax advisor. And of course, if you want that kind of information, you need to get it from those that are certified. But I've got a lot of experience in gold and silver. That I can tell you, okay? And my friend and business associate, Todd Collins, we call him Todd Father, he has a saying about financial advisors that I just love, and I want you to hear it. Todd?
One of the reasons why financial advisors don't talk about gold and silver when they're advising you is because they don't get paid a commission when they sell you gold and silver. So last time I checked, all financial advisors make their money on a commission basis. So if they can't earn a commission talking about gold and silver, well, why would they tell you about gold and silver? In fact, I have spoken to many financial advisors in the past, and they usually downplay that option as not a great idea. And again, it's because they can't make a commission. The other part of it, though, is more important. It's because just like Bob and myself, I have a degree in higher education as well. I never took a class that talked about anything. I took a lot of financial classes. 0 of them had anything about gold and silver in them. So the reality is your financial advisors are just ignorant to how important it is to have some gold and silver. And the saying that Bob likes that I have is ignorance is bliss. We've all heard that. Everybody heard that saying before? Ignorance is bliss. But you know what? It's going to cost you a whole lot of money. So we want to try and avoid that, and that's part of the education process that Bob and I are going to take you through today. And then, by the way, there's going to be an ongoing series that Bob and I and a couple other guests are going to be on every week, broadcast right here out of the America First Warehouse. We're going to start educating people on how to buy gold and silver, what the right things to do with that are, get you certified as a buyer and a collector in this industry, and then you guys can make great choices, and you'll probably be able to give your own financial advisors some advice.
Thank you, Todd. Never truer words spoken. But how many of us are experiencing what's up on the screen today? They call it inflation, but it's a combination of inflation and dilution, and we'll talk about that. But I want to ask you one question. How many of you had your income increase with the smallest of any of these increases that you've been experiencing? So most people are approaching a month that lasts longer than their money. And I think everyone can agree with that statement. So how do you counter that? And why is that happening? Well, in 1913, we had a Federal Reserve Act, and we were based on the gold standard. In other words, you had to have gold in the U.S. Treasury to print up dollars. And if you didn't have the gold, you couldn't print up the dollars. Well, because of a lot of reasons, wars and many other things, America had a lot of debt, and they kept printing up dollars, so it made your dollar buy less. And in 1971, when they needed to print up more dollars to pay for wars, the Vietnam War, President Nixon took us off the gold standard. Our currency became a fiat currency, and it's only as good as you believe it is good. Now, they kept printing up dollars. How many of you realize that we're $38 trillion in debt today, the country? And they're printing up trillions of dollars each year to the tune of about 1.4 trillion this year. So it diluted your and my dollars we have in our savings accounts, 401ks account. And, you know, it's paper instruments like stocks, bonds, annuities. Those are paper instruments, dollar base. So today our dollar buys us less than 3 cents what that same dollar bought in 1913. So how do you protect against that? Well, you protect it with sound money, gold and silver, because every time that the dollar goes down, gold and silver goes up. Now, it doesn't happen immediately, but over the long run, it does. And that's why it's been our financial saver. But it's also been what banks, the super wealthy, and people have known for years, and that's what I found out 38 years ago, and then that's when we started collecting gold and silver to be fully diversified. Everybody heard of the word be fully diversified? Don't put all your money into one basket? Well, this is what it means to be financially fully diversified, is everyone needs some gold and silver. Now, I know a lot of you thinking, well, gold and silver is so expensive, I couldn't afford it. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, that is now affordable. But here's the key. 38 years ago, I found a way that it was affordable because, see, silver was only about $1 at the same in 1965. So, you know, it buy you the same thing as a dollar bill. So we started collecting some silver and gold at the same time. So if you look back in history and you say in 1965, $2,500 bought a brand new Mustang the first year that it came out, or 2,500 ounces of silver. Do you know if you bought a 1 ounce of silver every week, that'd be $4 a month. So $4 a month's affordable, right? But you and I weren't taught about that. You had to do a lot of research to find out about that. Most people don't do that, and they depend on these financial advisors. They don't want you to buy gold and silver. They buy it, but they don't want you to buy it. Let's fast forward, 2024. With that same 2,500 ounces of silver, we'll buy you 2 brand new Mustangs, and you're going to have money left over. Here's the good news. We're in 2025. Let me tell you, silver's almost $50 an ounce today, so we'll do a little updating as we go through this. Well, if you're 2,500 ounces of silver, that'd be $120,000, okay? That'd buy you those 2 Mustangs at $45,000 each today and have a whole lot of money left over. But what if you'd have collected 1 ounce a week over that 60-year period? Well, it would have cost you a little less than $10,000, but that would be worth over $120,000. So see how it was our financial saver? We had a little gold and silver. Same thing with gold. Gold's even a better story, everyone, because, see, in 2000, we're only talking about 25 years here. Here on the screen, it's 24. But those 626 ounces of gold would either buy you an average home in America or the $169,000 in cash. Fast forward, 2024, that average home cost over $500,000. Well, those same 626 ounces in 2024 would have bought you 3 of those. So if you don't need 3 homes, you just buy 1 and look at what you have left over. You got $1 million left over.
Right? A bigger one?
A bigger one.
Yeah. I think something important to point out there is that in 2000, the 626 ounces was worth $169,000. Anybody see a property for sale here in New York for $169,000 today? So if you'd have saved the dollars, where would that have gotten you? But if you had the gold, you could buy a 1.5. It's actually closer to $2.4 million today.
Today.
Right, because the silver has gone up that much more just in this last year.
Yeah, because gold now almost $4,000 or $4,000 an ounce, so you can buy 4 of them today, over $2 million. That's the news that we're bringing, is why everyone needs gold and silver. And let's take a look at that and the way that we recommend people get it today in an affordable way, through sound money, through a vault. Everybody have a bank account?
Yes.
Everybody have a savings account?
Yes.
I bet everyone also has an investment account, right? Well, why not have a gold and silver account? Well, it's never been available until 2020, and the company we're affiliated with that we're going to introduce you to today has a sound money account, has a gold and silver account, and you can have one too. We all have one. Joe the Box has one.
Joe the Box
And
does
he
have
wants you to have one too. And that's what we're going to talk about today. In January of 2020, if you'd have taken $1,000, put it into your savings account or your bank or checking account, in April of 2025, it would only have a buying power of $760. So you'd have actually lost money. But if you would have purchased in our Sound Money wallet, in our gold and silver account, gold at our price, an incremental, so you get the best incremental price. That's cool. You don't have to buy 100 ounces or 10 ounces or even 1 ounce to get a very low, affordable price. And you can buy incremental. You can buy pieces, and it's stored in a vault for you. Well, you'd have got 0.65 ounces of gold, and it would have been right there in your account that you can see right on your phone. Or if you'd have bought silver with that $1,000 in our Sound Money account, in our gold and silver account, you would have had 55.5 ounces. Well, let's fast forward to April of 2025. That 0.65 ounces in April of 25, you could have pressed the button. Listen carefully. You could have pressed the button just like you do in your bank account, and you could have sold it back to Sound Money, and they have the highest buyback price. You don't have to go negotiate, no stress, no hassle. It turns into cash again, and you ACH it back to your bank. Well, you'd have had $2,275.
Is that more than 760?
That's a lot more than 760. Or
so.
if you'd have taken that 55.5 ounces, because you still got 55.5 ounces in your wallet, in your bank account, in your vault, your private vault. Well, you could have sold it back to Sound Money, turn it into cash, send it back if you need to, pay for some damage or a little modernization to your house or something. You could have sold it back, got $1,887. Todd, this is not April 2025. Isn't this November?
I think it is, yes.
Well, that 0.65 ounces, since they have the highest buyback, gold's at $4,000 an ounce or so today. Well, you can sell it for more than $4,000 an ounce back to them. So it's not taking it to the pawn shop, not taking it somewhere, trying to find somebody to buy gold and silver. It's a real gold and silver account with real precious metals sitting in that vault. Well, that 0.65 ounces at $4,000 an ounce, let's just use 4,000. That now is $2,600. Now, 55.5 ounces of silver at our current price, about $48 an ounce. Well, that's over
Doing your math, hang on.
$2,600.
$2,664.
$2,600?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Look what just between April and November it is done. And we like that kind of information. It helps us. It helps you. But what about the person that doesn't have $1,000 to stick in? Well, this is the first time you can do like, payroll deduction. You can do $100 a month. That's affordable to everyone. And you don't have to pay $5,000 and $6,000 an ounce for gold like you've had to do for the last 4 decades. See, that's why most people didn't do gold and silver, because to buy it at affordable quantities, incremental quantities, they charge you an arm and a leg. So it'd take forever for you to make the money back. But here, you get it at great, affordable, incremental cost.
Yeah, a little deeper dive on that. When you go to most of the dealers that are out there, and I won't name their names because we're broadcasting this live and I don't want to get any fun letters in the mail, but if you go to any of the websites that offer silver and gold, you can look right on there and it'll say something like Silver Eagles are as low as $67 an ounce. What does as low as mean? Well, Bob just alluded to that. If you had just $67 and you wanted to buy 1 ounce and you went on their website, can't do it. They're going to charge you something more like $68, $69, $70 for that 1 ounce. It'll say right on there if you buy 100 ounces or more, or 10,000 ounces, or $10,000 or more, then you get that $67 per ounce price. And with the Sound Money account, we're able to do dealer direct pricing And even if you're not buying a whole ounce, Bob, you can buy half an ounce. You can buy $1 worth, right?
You can buy $1 worth.
$1, you can buy the $1 worth of Silver Eagles at that $67 an ounce or whatever the going price is that day.
And you're going to pay the same price that the person's buying $1 million worth.
No minimums, no maximum.
No minimums, no maximum. And here's the beautiful part of that. Let's say you're doing $100 a month. And this is really kind of what we recommend people. Well, if you can't do $100 a month, then do 50, then do 40. Do what's affordable to your budget, but make it a priority to collect gold and silver in your own vault. If you'd have done $100 a month for the past 3 years, you'd had $3,600 in your savings account or your checking account. Well, we know it won't buy you $3,600 because of inflation and dilution. Remember dilution. Dilution is one of the most important parts that we don't really get taught about. The media never talks about that. But if you would have been buying $100 worth of gold every month for 3 years, you'd end up with 1.7843 ounces of gold. Well, in April of 2025, if you'd have pressed the button, sold it back to your Sound Money account, they have the highest buyback price. Well, you'd have got $4,639. Now, which one would you rather have, Todd? The $3,600 that won't buy you $3,600 worth of stuff, or the $4,639?
You know, it's tough, but I think I would rather have the bigger number.
I think so. But what's important, this is November. So there's 1.7843 ounces of gold. Now you can click and sell back for $6,200. Whoa, look at how much it's grown.
That's crazy.
And, you know, the projections are it's going to grow a lot fast. That's not us saying this.
Yep.
We don't know if it's going to go up, if it's going to go down. But why would it go down? That's the question.
Hey,
if
Bob.
all currencies around the world are fiat and all countries have a lot of debt, why would it go down?
It's a great question. I do want to talk real quick a little bit about this dilution thing that Bob talked a minute ago about. And he alluded to about $1.4 trillion being printed this year. There was $1.1 trillion that were printed just in COVID relief checks in 2020. And then since then, 2020 through 2024, there's several trillion, no one can really give me the exact number, that were printed on top of that for other relief efforts around the world. So that's just in the last 5 years, $5-6 trillion have flooded the market. So a lot of people don't understand the concept of dilution, but I'd like to explain it this way. I don't know if anybody here is a wine drinker, but if I went out and bought a really good bottle of wine, let's say a $100 or $150 really good bottle of wine, nice Cabernet, and I pour a glass of that into a wine glass, is that wine glass that I just poured, the glass of wine that I just poured out of there, the same quality as what's in the bottle? Yes, it is, because it was taken out at its perfect condition. Now, if I take that wine glass and let's say I put that in a gallon jug and I add an ounce of water to it, is it still good wine? Probably, but is it as good as it was when it was just a straight glass of wine right out of the pure bottle? No, it's diluted a little bit. Well, if I fill that gallon container up with the rest of that as water, is that red wine any good anymore? No. It's kind of like Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. It's just beer-flavored water. So, and if you're a Pabst guy or gal, I apologize for that. But that's the concept. When we had a certain amount of currency that was printed, back when our dollar was backed by gold and silver, it was a pure price. That's why it had a good buying power, why the dollar was the standard globally. But as they've diluted it by printing these trillions of dollars, it's made that dollar worth less. That make sense?
That's right. So one final example, let's say you do have some money tucked away. And, you know, I've done this, my wife and I have done this over the last couple of years, and we keep doing it every year and every few months. But what if you had taken $10,000 in 2020, well, in 2022, let's just do 3 years, and you keep it into your savings account? Well, it's worth a lot less in April 2025. In November, it's even worth less because that inflation and dilution still happens. Okay? But if you'd have bought gold with it, you'd have 5.56 ounces. Bought gold in our Sound Money account, your gold and silver account. Or if you'd have bought silver, you'd have 462.4 ounces. Let's fast forward to April 2025. You still have 462.4 ounces of silver, and you still have 5.56 ounces of gold. So now let's click a button. Let's sell it back to them. Let's say you need some cash. You need to buy an upgrade in your new bathroom. Okay, you're tired of the old bathroom.
Car broke down.
That's right. Car broke down. Need some major repairs and a transmission. Well, you sell it back at the highest buyback price, no negotiation. You sell that 5.56 ounces of gold, and you get $18,000 in April 2025. Hey, look, November, that 5.56 ounces is worth over $22,000 as a sale back. Those 462.4 ounces of silver still in your account, but you just click a button and you sell it back, you would have got in April $15,259. But if you'd put off that repair, waited till November, now you're getting $23,000.
That's a lot of transmission.
Whoa. That means we all need to have a little silver and gold, just in case this happens again next year or the year after that. So I think you would agree that everyone needs some of God's money, sound money, gold and silver. It's your financial security. It's our financial security, and we want to share that with you. And Joe DeBox wants to share that with you. And how do you get that? Well, you get your own gold and silver account, and now all the questions of why people for decades and decades didn't buy gold and silver, why only 5% of Americans today own gold and silver. But everyone needs to, and we need patriots helping patriots to help educate like we're doing here today. We need you to help share with those that you know, because they may not be listening to what we're talking about here today. Okay, because this company can't afford to put those advertisements on TV. Otherwise, they couldn't provide the prices for gold and silver, because that's a lot of wasted millions and millions of dollars. So those kind of companies have to have higher prices, Todd. And so now you have a trusted place that you can buy from. You have a trusted friend. You have a trusted patriot that you can believe in. And this is not something we are asking people to put $10,000 up or $1,000. We're not asking you to do that. We're asking you to learn about gold and silver, and we're going to teach you about it. And then in an affordable manner, you can do the same things that many thousands of us have done through a company that started in November 2016. And you'll meet one of the co-founders of that company. Richard Wayne Hanson's here with us today, and we'll meet him a little later today. And this company provided like a membership model. In the beginning in 2016, it was kind of like a Costco of gold and silver. Get a membership, you get to buy gold and silver the regular old way and have it shipped to you. And we bought a lot of that. But then it didn't solve the biggest problem that average Americans had. What happens when you want to turn it into cash? Well, this company now has solved that problem, and it solved it in 2020. And so we want to introduce you to that company. It's called 7K Metals, and we want you to have a membership. We want you to have a membership in the main company, because you get a lot of other benefits. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today, but we're not going to delve into those benefits because they're all choice. Nothing is pushed on anyone. Everything's choice, and you get your own free Sound Money wallet and your gold and silver account. And we get to save you money by becoming a member of the mother company. And so they've made this simple for us, And that's what we're going to talk about today, where you can buy, as we've been discussing in our illustration, fractional gold and silver. And this company has made fractional gold and silver affordable to everyone, but it's also made it transactionable. So you have a gold and silver account. Transactional means you can turn it to cash with a click of a button. Never before has that been in this industry until this company brought it in with Sound Money. Now, you can go and get a direct account at Sound Money, but it's going to cost you a lot more money, and you're going to have to deal with online, customer service and stuff like that. I'm not too good at that kind of stuff. I like talking to people. I like a community of friends and a community of like-minded people helping each other. Patriots helping patriots. So we're building a community of people helping people. And so to understand, because all of us had questions in doing this, but we had a community that we could depend on, Todd, to answer our questions, to help us through this process, to learn what we haven't been taught. And this is why we want everybody to have their own Sound Money account through their 7K membership. And you get secure storage and a private vault. We'll talk about that in a second, but a private vault is much different than the old-style depositories that the wealthy and banks have been using for decades. And they're still around, and that's what the wealthy use. But a private vault means there's no reporting to the government, and they can't use your and my money to expand their business with what's stored in that vault. So just before we get there, I'm going to tell everybody, just Google private vault versus depository for precious metals. And it'll tell you the differences, and we won't have to illustrate them. But you get to buy it, store it. It's secured in a military-grade Class 3 vault, meaning and nobody going to break into that sucker. and it's 100% insured by Lloyd's of London. You can't have a better insurance company insuring it. This is more safe than your dollar bills in your bank. If you want it shipped to you, you click a button, have it shipped in full 1-ounce quantities, or in case of silver bars, 100-ounce silver bar. But they'll ship it to you. You just have to pay the shipping and insurance. And they make that easy, too. But the most important thing is instant, quick, easy liquidation, transactional gold and silver, where you can turn it into those dollars, have it ACH'd immediately to your bank account. So they made gold and silver transactionable, as we've been saying. Yes, sir.
I was going to point out something here that you just mentioned that's very critical to understand. And Richard tells a good story about this that maybe he can share later. But he wanted to buy something. I think he said it was around $7,000 or $8,000, and he went to his local bank where he has all of his money at, a lot of his money at, and he said, "I need whatever it was, $8,000." And this is on a Friday, and they said, "Well, we don't have that kind of cash on hand right now. This is a bank. I don't have that kind of cash on hand right now. You'll need to come back on Tuesday to pick that up." And the reason for that is, I think most of you know it, but I'm going to cover it because there's some new people here that may not understand this, is that when you have a depository at a bank, they're only required to keep 10% of that deposit on hand in the banking institution. What do they do with the rest of that? They lend it out to people to buy houses, car loans, student loans, and all kind of other financial instruments. So they use the money you deposit to give out to other people to use to buy other things that they want and to finance those things. So when Richard went in to pick up his $8,000 or whatever it was, they were a little light that day. That's a little scary, because if everybody that had money in that banking institution that day, I don't know why that might happen. Our economy is failing. Some geopolitical event occurs. But everybody might want to run to the bank like they did once a whole lot of years ago. Back in, was it 1929, I believe? And they wanted all their money out of the bank. Well, if everybody showed up and they only have 10% of 100% of the deposits that are made there, 90% of people aren't getting their money back that day, maybe ever. And that's what happened back in the 20s. On the flip side with the Sound Money Vault, in that vault, every ounce of silver that you own is still sitting right there. They don't take 9 out of every 10 coins that you buy and loan it out to somebody else for their sound money account. It's all stored right there inside that vault. So if we all said, hey, every 7K Metals member said, hey, we want to go down to the sound money vault and pick up our silver and gold today because we want that in our physical hands, every ounce of silver is sitting right there, and we can take that out of there, and they wouldn't have any issue performing at that moment in time.
That's right, and it's independently third-party audited daily
Every day.
to make sure every fractional ounce is in there, and every major ounce. And in fact, they have to round up, so they have to have whole ounces in there. They can't have fractional ounces. That's the beautiful part about that. So there's always more in there than all of us added together has in that vault. And so you get to own gold and silver for as little as $1. So it truly is affordable to everyone. You can have it shipped to you if you so choose to, but we suggest that you don't because you got instant liquidation. If you have it shipped to you, then you have to deal with how you're going to liquidate it the old way. That means you got to find a buyer, or you got to go to a pawn shop, or you got to go to a coin dealer, and they see you coming in the door. And they aren't going to pay you the best price, that's for sure. They're going to try and get it at the lowest price from you as they possibly can, Todd. So how do you get started? That's the question that should be in your mind today. Well, it's simple. You get a membership, and we're going to suggest you get a 7K membership. Now, you can go to Sound Money and get your own, but you're going to pay more, and you're going to pay every year to keep that Sound Money, and you're not going to have us helping you, okay? But if you get it through 7K, which we recommend, the mother company, you're going to get a free Sound Money account with your membership. There's 2 memberships. The basic membership is $149. We call that for the people, just graduating high school or, coming in college. It's affordable for them.
Dip your toe in the water.
That's right. Getting in, just getting started, because that's affordable for even the college student. But what we're recommending is a legacy, the $599, the full membership, and we'll explain why. Now, it's a membership that is going to give you a lot more benefits than its cost, and right now it's a lifetime membership. So what's the difference between the two? I'm going to only highlight the most important points, but here's the very important point with your membership. It's not like Costco anymore. Guess what they're going to give you? They're going to give you, even in a basic membership, they're going to put $20 of gold into your account to make sure you log in, you get set up, and you start feeling what having a gold and silver account is. So they're going to put $20 of gold in there. And you're going to get to store in that private vault up to $1,000 worth of precious metals, gold and silver, for free. So they're not going to charge you for the insurance or the storage costs. Now, you're going to get what we call stack and sell. This is for collectible coins, but you don't have to worry about that. And there's going to be a lot of other things that are associated with it. But the basic membership, we want you to understand you can only store up to $1,000. Then you start paying storage and insurance costs, 0.5%. I'll illustrate that in a minute to you. But the legacy account, you're going to get $40 worth of gold put into your account, the $599. Here's the main difference. You get to store up to $50,000 worth of gold and silver free. No insurance costs, no storage costs. Now, if you have over $50,000 like we do, then we pay 0.5%. Let me just illustrate what that means. That means if you got $100,000 in there, your first $50,000 is free. What's 0.5% of $50,000 that you have to pay on? $250 for the year. Oh, you can't get insurance if you're storing it at your house. I know because we've done it before. If you're storing it at your house and you get insurance, it's called a personal articles floater on your homeowner's insurance. Go ask them what it would cost to store $50,000 worth of gold and silver at your house. to be fully insured.
It doesn't cost anything to store it. It costs to insure it.
It costs to insure
And
it.
it is a big number. That rider is a massive number.
Yeah, you get to store it at your house for free, but it's the insurance cost, and it's much more, believe me, than the $250 that you would be charged here. And in that vault, it's 100% insured by Lloyd's of London, the greatest insurance company in the world, the most stable. So that's the memberships that we recommend that you get, and we recommend that you get it on this basis. You know what Joe DeBox, John the Blanket, and family have provided with American First Warehouse. Don't we all want to see this keep going? That's why we're here. We want to help the America First Warehouse stay here, be here, provide the services that it's providing. And this is a way for us to give back to them and to give back to you. So we can all join together and help one another. Get a membership. We recommend the Legacy. But here's why. The old way. What happens when you need to sell it? I know we've talked about it during the course of this little presentation, but let's just go back over it again. You've got to go find a buyer for your gold and silver if you're holding it in your hands. Or you keep it under the old apple tree, hidden somewhere else in a box. Okay? You got to go find somebody to buy it. But who do you normally go to? You go to the pawn shop. You go to the coin dealer. They're not even going to pay you anywhere near spot for that. In fact, most people are lucky to average 85% of spot. Now, spot's less, and our company pays us above spot to transact to sell it back. Well, the other way that I've used for many years was to deal with the 3 largest online brokers. But you got to know who they are, okay? So in dealing with them, it's right there in black and white. Their policies have been the same for decades. You can wrap it up in a box, take it to the postal service, pay insurance on it, ship it to them, and send along with it a 10% deposit check. It's called a deal check. Okay? Now, they don't trust that you're sending them back pure 999 gold and silver. They have to test it. They have to certify it's real. And then once they do that, and they take their sweet time at it, believe me. But once they do that, they'll call you up and they'll say, okay, here's what I'm going to pay you for your gold and silver. Well, if you got to accept it within their 12-hour window. If you don't accept it, then the deal's over and time starts all over again. Okay? Now, that's very important because if you don't accept it within their window, then the deal's off. They're not going to buy it from you, and you have to pay the shipping and insurance to get it back, and they keep your deal check.
Let me get this straight. If I want to sell $100,000 of gold and silver back to one of these dealers, I have to send with that a $10,000 check for them to just look at it.
That's right.
And if I don't like the number, maybe spot price went down, whatever it was, they got my gold and silver, they didn't think it was as good a quality as what I thought it was, and instead of 100 grand, they offer me 90 grand. I don't like that number, and I want it back. I got to pay to ship it back to me and insure it back to me, and they keep my $10,000?
That's correct.
That's ridiculous.
It's right there in your websites. Read it. It's in black and white. It's been there for decades, okay? But that's if you want to sell it. But what happens, with Sound Money Wallet, with your new membership account? Come on. Well, you get to buy, remember, in affordable incremental quantities at very affordable, low cost. Not the lowest cost in the world, because if you buy in large quantities, 500, 1,000 ounces, yeah, you get a low price. But we get affordable prices, and that's what's important for the average person, because you need gold and silver. So we get great prices, dealer direct prices for incremental prices, and we get to do a buying strategy, a saving strategy, a wealth building strategy. You could do $40 a week, kind of like a payroll deduction, build a wealth plan. Well, we have that available here, but here's what's important. It's safe. It's secure, and it's fully insured, and it's third party daily now audited to make sure it's there. I like this part, Todd. There's no government reporting in a private vault.
I really like that part.
In other words, when I buy it, there's no 1099-B sent to the government.
Hey, Bob, wasn't there a time in our history, forget who the president was, I'm sure you remember, but that one of our presidents said, hey, if you're holding gold and silver, we want it back. You can't have it yourself anymore. Who was that? When was that?
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. That's right. Huh. So if the government knew I had gold and silver, they knew exactly how much to come get from me, right?
That's right.
But if they didn't know,
They don't know who to go get it from.
right?
But fortunately, we had the Gold Bullion Act in 1986, prevents them from taking our gold and silver ever again. That's a pretty cool thing. But we don't want them to know that we own it, do we? I don't want the government
That's the
to know
other
we
problem
own
with
it.
insuring it yourself, too, by the way.
That's right.
So if I call my insurance, I'm a USAA guy because I'm a veteran. So if I call USAA, got my homeowners, my cars, my motorcycle with them, and I say, hey, I want to insure $100,000 of Silver Eagles or Gold Eagles or whatever it is, they're going to say, okay, here's your rider. And I don't know the number, but let's just say it's $1,000 every 6 months to have that rider on to insure my gold and silver. They also know I have gold and silver. And guess who owns all those insurance companies that you have that rider with? Not American-based companies that are out for the same patriotic values that we are. They may have some other intentions in mind. So I don't want anybody to know how much gold and silver that I have. That's between me and my Lord. But with the Sound Money Vault, I have the ability to buy that in my membership and store it there, and there's no 1099-B reporting that goes to any government agency.
So true.
I like that.
And you know, we move to the next thing, which I encourage people to do, is find out the difference between private vaulting and depositories. And so I just show you, just Google it. What is the difference between private vaulting and depositories for precious metals? It'll tell you everything you need to know. Okay? And so with Sound Money, we have private vaulting. Basically, it means this. They're a vaulter. They charge for storage and insurance, and they guarantee that it's there, and they can't use what gold and silver is deposited inside their vault to expand their business. A depository can use what's deposited there to expand their business. If they can use what you're in my gold and silver to expand their business, doesn't that put it at risk? Yes, that's right. That's the main difference that I see in the regulations between a private vault and a depository. So you get to see your holdings. It's the digital world. That's why we can have a gold and silver. And this is one of the 21st century companies. They developed their own technology. All this technology is self-developed. They developed their Sound Money wallet. They have their private vaulting. They built this up. And the reason that we can provide you the memberships today, like that $5.99 Legacy, see, for years, we had to renew our membership every year, but the company's debt-free. The company built up their infrastructure, built this technology, built everything, and now you can get a $5.99 Legacy today for a lifetime, and you get that free account that we're talking about in Sound Money. So they're giving back to you and me, and that's what we're doing with the America First Warehouse and Joe DeBox and family, is giving back to them, and we want you to help give back to them. And we together, Patriots helping Patriots, build wealth. And so what comes with your membership is that training. You remember, we hadn't been taught about gold and silver on purpose. Didn't taught about it on purpose. Because if we got financial independence, then we don't have to depend on the government. That's what I like about having God's money. It gives you that financial independence. And so we're going to train you what spot prices are. What's the difference between a buy price, bid price, and a sell price, and a spot price, just like stocks. Well, gold and silver works the same way, except one, stocks can go up and they can go bankrupt. But guess what gold and silver has never done in the history of the world? It's never went bankrupt. It's only went one way, Todd. In all years, in centuries, it's only bought you more and more. So everybody needs to have some. So we're going to give training, not only training in gold and silver bullion, which is the base of financial independence, but numismatics, so you can diversify. I've been in the numismatics since the 90s. And we bought our first numismatic coin. It was a St. Gaudens MS-64. I got it for $280. That coin's worth over $5,500 today, and I can sell it really easily. That was a great $280 investment because I was buying a collectible coin, a certified collectible coin.
Real quick on that. Before you guys leave today, back on that table, Mike, back in front of Mike over there, several of us have bought some of our collectible coins, and you can see the quality of the work that 7K Metals does. They mint their own. They've got designers that come up with their own concepts. A lot of it is extremely patriotic. One of the collections I love the most is the Miss Liberty series, which is all about the Statue of Liberty. But there's five pieces in that offering. They started off with the silver note, and they had a 1 ounce Lady Liberty, a 2 ounce Lady Liberty, and a 5 ounce. And then there's a half gram gold piece as well. So 4 of those 5 are back there in that corner. Go back and take a look at those. Richard, what did you say it cost to buy all of those coins when they first came out? Something like.
1 ounce was $200, the 2 ounce was $300, and the 5 ounce was $7, so it'd be $1,200.
So $1,200 for the 3 big Miss Liberty coins, and those are selling for about what today is a set?
I would not sell my set for $20,000.
Right. So they've gone up that much, and the reason for that is, and you learn about this in the collectors and the buyer certification training, is because those collectible coins are very low mintage. One of them had 911 coins minted because it was on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So they can, no one, after those 911 people bought that coin, they can never mint another one. And that's part of what you're going to get to learn in this education process.
And actually, the education program is worth the membership alone.
Sure.
And so, because we learn what we haven't been taught about on purpose. And we want you to learn about numismatics. You don't have to buy them, but it's good to learn about them, okay? That's for diversification. So remember, by being a member of the mother company, you get your sound money, your gold, silver account for free. It comes with it. Okay, but you're going to get much more available to you, but they're all by choice. And by the way, we have some of the lowest cost health insurance plans in the country. And with the Obamacare plans today, a lot of people join us just to get the health care benefits.
It is a group benefit package.
Yeah, and it's a fabulous. And then we have those numismatic coins. We have gold-backed IRAs. We have, and you know, if you want to earn money, if you want to kind of do the things Todd and I do, and a few, you know, about 15% of the people do. There's a way you can get 1099 tax benefits and earn some extra money in wealth bill. But you don't have to do this. That's the whole key. What we want is everybody to have their gold and silver account. We want everybody to start collecting, building wealth through God's money, through sound money. And you are helping the America First Warehouse by doing that too, while you're helping yourself. So there's many more benefits. Now, just to, you know, recap real quick, the basic is good and it's very inexpensive. It's affordable to anyone.
Not a bad way to get started.
But the legacy is better, and that's really what we recommend. So we're going to give a little update, okay? I know you saw this before, but let's look at the 2025, the current numbers. Yeah, that silver will buy you a whole bunch of Mustangs because it's almost $50 an ounce today for those 2,500 ounces. Well, that's over $130,000. Okay, so you can just buy one Mustang at $45,000, have all the rest of it to spend, to enjoy on vacation and paying for gas for it. But, you know, when you look at gold, now that's a big different picture because we're going to look at the Mustang instead of the houses because it only took 72 ounces of gold in 65 to buy that Mustang. But today, those 72 ounces That's worth over $280,000.
That's a lot of cars.
You just buy one Mustang and have a whole bunch of money to live off of and vacation and have some good times, right? So here's the membership comparison real quick again for you. Select your membership. We believe that you want to become part of this program, get your own gold and silver account. Joe DeBox and the TFW Sound Money team want to welcome you to 7K Metals and your road to financial security and wealth building. So just scan the code, go to the website, tfwsoundmoney.com. If you want more information, you want to actually talk to somebody, then, set up an appointment and you can do it that. But for those of you that are listening today, you're ready to get your account, go there, say, I'm ready to set up my account. Let's get it started. Let's do it today.
Yep. On that note, we're going to take actually, I'm going to have the sound booth or the AV team upstairs play a short video. It's 6 minutes long. I think you guys are going to want to watch this. We'll take a couple-minute break, if that's okay, with everybody, just a few so they can run some commercials, and then take a quick bathroom break, grab something to eat back there if you haven't got it. And then Bob has what I think is the best part of this meeting coming up right on the other side of that, and that is your presentation or his presentation on where gold and silver are headed in the next few months and years. And I really encourage everybody to stick around to hear this one. It's only about 15-20 minutes long, give or take, but it's important to watch this and understand why gold and silver today is. A lot of people tell me all the time, Todd, gold's at $4,000 an ounce and silver's at $50 an ounce. I think I missed the boat. Did I miss the boat? And the answer is no, you didn't miss the boat. Really, in my opinion here, gold and silver, because they've been suppressed for so long with that value and what's been offered to the American public, and it's been so hard to do it, to buy it. I think we're really at a place right now where we're kind of at the ground floor. There is a very high upside to where silver and gold could go. Likely will go, in my opinion. Again, we're not financial advisors and trying to give you advice on what to do. You need to do your own homework and learn a little bit about this yourself and make some good decisions for you and your family. But what Bob's about to share with you guys on the other end of this break is unbelievable information.
Yeah, and that 6-minute video that we're about to watch is, you can also benefit from this too. Because see, people that we won't be able to talk with. They need a gold and silver account too. So why not earn yourself some gold? We call it instant gold pay. It's like a referral fee, like an Amazon or any other account that you tell somebody about it. Well, they'll put, if somebody gets a gold and silver account at $5.99, they'll put $80 of gold in your account. Now that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Okay? And if you got a $5.99, then you get what we call a 1% metal bonus. So every time the person you referred buys gold and silver to put into their account, you get 1%.
Wait a minute.
Deposited into your account.
So if they buy $100,000 worth of gold and silver, or if they roll over an IRA and use a gold-backed IRA, Silver Eagles, Gold Eagles, whatever, I get a 1% matching bonus.
That's right. If you've got the $5.99 legacy, if you got the basic $149, you don't get to participate.
Well, that's a good reason to get the $5.99.
That's
right
more of a good reason to get it.
One person buys $100,000 in their IRA or in Sound Money wallet, and you've almost made your membership back just with that one.
Oh, you got $1,000 worth of gold or silver deposit in your account.
That's amazing.
That's why we like this so much.
All right.
But there's other ways to make income. But remember, that's all choice. The most important thing is to get your gold and silver account and get it as soon as you can.
Yep.
That's the important thing.
Start buying today. All right, Martin, you can go ahead and run that video if you've got that teed up. Maybe. Here it comes. Nope.
If you're watching this video, chances are you've got some questions about gold or silver. You know they're valuable, but maybe it feels complicated. You're not sure how to use them, where to start, or who to trust. Or maybe you already own gold or silver, but want a simpler way. That's exactly why we made this, to share what we've learned, so you can make confident decisions and take real steps toward building with gold and silver, and hopefully give you enough confidence to get involved. At 7K, our mission is simple. Put gold and silver into the hands of people who need it most. We are a North American authorized gold and silver dealer located in the state of Idaho. For over a decade, we've worked to remove the friction, fear, and confusion for the first-time buyer and to simplify the process for a seasoned stacker to add more precious metals to their portfolio. Gold and silver are everywhere in the news. Governments are stacking it. It's one of the most significant asset classes on Earth, and people across the globe are paying attention. But why? Let's start with a quick look at our modern money system. In 1913, the US dollar was backed by gold and had full purchasing power. But when the government detached it from gold in 1971 and started printing like crazy, the dollar lost over 97% of its value. That's inflation, and you felt it from the grocery store to your energy bill. Fiat currency is money created by governments with no real backing, just paper we've agreed to trust. And every time they print more, your dollars buy less. That's where sound money, a better name for gold and silver, comes in. It's been a trusted store of value for thousands of years. The wealthy have used it to preserve and grow wealth, and so do banks and governments. They know what it's worth. Let's look at a simple comparison. 5 years ago, if you saved $1,000 in the bank, inflation would have eaten away at its value. But if you'd used that same $1,000 to buy gold or silver, that gold would be worth over $1,900 today. The silver, over $2,000. Would that knowledge have changed your strategy? Probably. So why doesn't everyone do this? Because gold and silver got too complicated. People don't know how to use it, sell it, or even where to start. That's where we come in. We've made owning gold and silver simple, accessible, and smart. As a 7K member, you'll get tools that help you start stacking with confidence, starting with Sound Money Wallet, the foundation of our basic membership. Here's what it unlocks. First, fractional gold and silver purchases on any budget. Although we handle purchases in the millions, you don't have to have large amounts of money to buy gold or silver anymore. You can literally start with $1. Next, safe, secure, insured storage. No private safes or extra security systems at home required. Also, quick and easy buyback at top prices. No haggling, period. Lastly, fast, reliable shipping if you want it in hand. Sound Money Wallet solves the traditional pain points of buying and holding metals. It's a fresh take on the most time-tested form of money. And remember, there's no speculation here, only physical assets. Sound Money alone costs $199 a year. With our basic membership, you'll get Sound Money Wallet with up to $1,000 in free storage through our Vault Max facility for less. But we're more than a gold and silver dealer. We're an education platform. Our buyer certification teaches you the basics of stacking, while the collector certification opens up the exciting world of collectible gold and silver. Exclusive, limited edition coins with stories, beauty, and real value. We've spent the last decade building the most robust marketplace around collectibles. And as a member, you get exclusive access. You'll also get tools to track and sell your collectibles through Stack and Sell, our secure trading platform. Want to supercharge your stacking? That's where Instant Gold Pay comes in. For every new 7K member you refer, we'll thank you with up to $80 in pure gold, deposited directly into Vault Max and visible in your Sound Money Wallet. We don't do flashy ads. We'd rather pay you to spread the word. And if you refer 4 people within your first 14 days, we'll add up to $500 in cash rewards on top of the gold. No pressure. Sharing is totally optional. If you'd rather stack quietly, that works too. All of that comes with our basic membership. You can see that it's well worth over $400 for all the platforms here. But it's only a one-time $149, less than your annual Amazon Prime bill or premium Netflix subscription. And if you want more, go Legacy. Legacy members get everything basic offers, plus $50,000 in free storage instead of $1,000, more gold up front, unlimited collectible tracking, and a Sound Money metal matching bonus. Every time someone you refer buys gold or silver, you get up to 1% of it automatically in real metals. Whether it's 1% of 1,000 or 1 million, you won't want to miss out on free Sound Money. If you like the idea of up to $50,000 in free physical gold and silver storage in the secure Vault Max vaults or the Sound Money metal matching bonus, the Legacy can't be beat. So it's either the basic for $149 or the Get It All Legacy for $599. Just pick the one that makes the most sense for you right now. Once you've selected a membership, you've already taken a big step, but why stop there? Successful people automate what they can because it helps them be efficient. They invest in themselves, they pay themselves first, and they make it automatic. Start with a monthly budget that fits your goals, part for education, part for wealth building, and let automation do the heavy lifting. When it comes to education, 7K Pro is your gateway to next level confidence. With a growing library of life mastery topics, you'll get the knowledge and mindset to grow your wealth and your future. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive collectible coin access, extra perks, and member savings, all for just $59 a month. Every membership includes a 15-day free trial of 7K Pro. You'll be billed monthly after that, but you can update or cancel anytime. Now remember that monthly budget we mentioned? Here's a smart way to use it. Put $60 into 7K Pro for education and the balance towards Wealth Builder, a first-of-its-kind subscription that lets you choose your metal, gold or silver, set your amount, and auto-stack assets weekly or monthly. It's the easiest way to build your sound money portfolio hands-free. Either way, you win. There are many options, but the point is this: success loves automation. So let's make investing in yourself and your future effortless. Take a look at what would have happened if you would have set your Wealth Builder to purchase $100 in gold every month over the last 3 years. The real key to winning in this system is automation. You automate your monthly bills so you don't miss them. Why not automate paying yourself first to start hitting your goals without thinking about it? AutoSaver sends you a premium collectible coin each month. No guesswork or effort required. These tools turn gold and silver from a someday idea into a steady strategy that fits your life. So, what's your next step? Pick the membership that fits your goals. If you've got questions, talk to the person who invited you. Last thing, we mentioned this earlier, and it's fair for you to know. We have a way for you to get whichever membership you choose paid for quickly. It's likely you are already thinking of 4 or 5 people you know who might want this information. Remember the instant gold pay? For every legacy membership you refer, we will pay you $80 in gold instantly. That adds up quickly. And if you bring 4 in the first 14 days after you pick a membership, we are willing to pay up to $500 in a cash reward on top of that gold pay. That's $320 in gold and $500 in cash. That's over $800 back in your pocket. Again, this is optional. And if you like that, but want more, we do have other ways where you could scale this program to earn even more rewards consistently over time. That's in another video. For now, let the person who shared this information with you know which membership you'd like. And welcome to 7K, where real assets meet real confidence.
There you go. That's a little bit about the community that Bob and I are a part of. Several other people here from our team right now that are standing by to answer any questions that you may have. Or Bob mentioned a minute ago, if you scan that QR code, that'll set you up in our back office system to get an appointment scheduled with one of our team members. Mike Mandato's back there in the back with the coins. We owe Mike a lot. He is the guy, the architect behind the majority of the technology that we use on our team here on a day in and day out basis. And he put together all the slide deck here for Bob Reed as well. So thank you, Mike, for doing all that. We're going to take a short break here. Let's call it 3 or 4 minutes. And then Bob will do that very short presentation on where silver and gold are heading in the future. And we'll be done for the day. Grab yourself something to eat, take your humanity break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
the commercial is stopped, isn't it?
All right, you guys, we're going to get going here in about a minute. Martin, are you going to be able to give me cue on that somehow? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started again. Welcome back. I hope you all had a quick opportunity to enjoy some of the treats that the America First Warehouse team put out for you in the back there. If you go and grab your seats here real quick. Martin's going to tee up the second video here, which we'll watch real fast, and then Bob's going to get going with his training right away. Thank you, Martin.
This is big, this is big. Of gold.
We're live.
Welcome to Accelerating Your Wealth Strategy. First of all, congratulations on becoming a new member of 7K Metals. As you explore your membership, keep in mind that if all you do is increase your assets with gold and silver, you win. In this video, however, we will show you how to potentially accelerate your wealth strategy through the 7K customer acquisition model. We can do this 3 ways. The first 2 ways we covered in the wealth strategy video number 1, and primarily have to do with rewards for helping 7K acquire new customers. First is the Instant Gold Pay program, where you receive either $20 for a basic membership referral or $80 for a legacy. This reward is paid instantly inside of your Sound Money wallet in gold. In the first video, we gave an example of the power of 4. And if you acquired 4 new legacy members, 7K will instantly add $320 in gold into your Sound Money wallet. But it doesn't have to stop there. If you decide to acquire more customers, we will reward you with gold for each new customer. If you refer 10 new members, instantly receive up to $800 in gold. 100 new members, up to $8,000. And that leads to the second way to accelerate your wealth strategy. This is called the matching metal bonus. Now, this bonus is exclusive for our active legacy members, but remember, if you're a basic member, you can upgrade at any time in your back office, and there is no extra fee to do so, just pay the difference. Here's how it works. Any customer that you have personally brought to 7K will be uniquely coded to you. You will already have earned either $20 or $80 in instant gold. But since they are coded to you, you will receive up to 1% of any metals, gold or silver, they purchase through their Sound Money wallet. These assets will be instantly added to your wallet when they make a purchase. Whether they purchase $10, $100, $1,000, or $1 million, you will receive up to 1% of that amount matched of any asset they purchase. And because many people you refer will want to set up a subscription, you will see your assets growing each and every month and with each and every purchase they make. Here at 7K, we set out to do something different. So we know there is no one in the gold and silver industry rewarding people directly with gold and silver. So at this point, you may be asking, where do all these customers come from? That's easy. From you. Think about it. How many people are in your phone right now? How many people are you connected with on social media? And how many people are you going to meet? Last question. How many of them do you think would have interest in purchasing gold and silver in the simplest way possible, or even earning some instead of buying it? You got it. The answer is plenty. And that's because this is not your normal referral program. And this is because even if they don't ever tell anyone about it, they win. By the way, just keep in mind how powerful this program can be, but it sneaks up on you. You never know who is looking to move large amounts of fiat currency into gold and silver, but remember, they probably won't ever tell you. The rewards will just show up as the people you refer purchase their new assets. So we created the third way to accelerate your wealth strategy through what we call a share plan. It works through a reward point system and by finding people that want to help acquire customers. In essence, building a few teams. Let's break it down. Every time you acquire a new basic membership, you'll receive 20 points. And when you acquire a new legacy, 150 points. You will then organize these points into two teams, a left team and a right team. Every time each team grows to 250 points, you receive a $250 deposit into your 7K account. When the teams grow to 500 points, you receive a $500 check. The more people you personally refer, the bigger your teams. And the best part, when your team members acquire customers and other team builders, you get to count all their reward points too. And this never stops. In any given week that your teams produce more than 500 points, you can keep adding up points in 500-point increments and earn additional $500 checks that week. The 7K share plan will allow you to earn up to $12,500 per week with qualifications. And points come from new memberships, autosavers, collectible coins, and 7K Pro. Now let's look at a simple way to illustrate all of this. Using the power of 4, let's look at what can happen. By personally enrolling 4 legacy memberships, you'll receive $320 in gold and continue to earn 1% medal matching off of these 4 members. You then organize these members by placing 2 in each team, your left and right. When you do this, you will now have 300 points, 150 for each legacy in each team, meeting the minimum for a $250 bonus. Now work with these new customers to add a few more new members and to help them earn instant gold. That's how quick you can earn a $500 bonus. Continue to grow your business a little bit more and create monthly points from autosavers, coin drops, and 7K Pro subscriptions. With a small team, you'll be able to earn $500 per month. Help others do the same. With 2 on the left and 2 on the right earning $500 per month, you'll earn $2,000 a month. With 2 on the left and 2 on the right earning $2,000 per month, you'll earn $8,000 a month. Help more for even bigger results. Finally, to help you get off to a fast start, 7K currently has a promotion allowing you to double all points in your first 14 days. This means if you would normally earn a $500 check, they'll send you $1,000. They are also giving away 100-ounce silver bars for new members that qualify. It's go time.
There you go. Thank you, Martin. All right, we need to switch back to the slide deck here, and I'm going to let Bob take it away.
Yeah, and part of that 6-minute video is just remember another part of choice. With your 7K gold and silver account, you can earn that 1% medal bonus and that matching goal just by helping others get their gold and silver account. So you would bring them to the table and we would do the work for you. See, we like participating in that third part, and that third part has some requirements, but it's all choice.
Yep.
That's the beautiful thing about 21st century referral marketing because of the digital age and what has brought it to it. And it's the most cost-effective way of doing it. So I'm going to assume that you all agree with us that you need a gold and silver account too. And I'm going to welcome you along with Joe DeBox and the America First Warehouse Sound Money team, to 7K medals. And I'm going to speak to you as if you're a member already, because that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to bring some of the facts that I know in my 38 years of experience. Now, remember, I'm not a financial advisor or a tax advisor. Just like to make that clear. You'd have to visit with one of those if you want that kind of advice. But I like what my friend Todd always says about financial advisors.
Ignorance is bliss, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. On that note, before Bob jumps into this, one of the best things about the way the 7K Metals platform is set up is both of those links that we just showed you, those videos, I mean, the one before the break and the one that we just finished up with, those are available in your 7K Metals account. When you sign up, you get a replicated website. All of us have the exact same one, and these share links are included in there. So if you're sitting out there right now going, holy moly, that Bob guy, 38 years of experience, I don't think I could talk like he talks. I don't know all these statistics on what gold prices were then and now and where they're heading and all that. Good. I like to say ignorance is bliss in this category, and it can make you a lot of money. And this is why. If you just become very good at sharing the concept of earning some gold and silver, ask very basic questions, which Bob and I will teach you after you enroll. You don't have to know anything about the gold and silver market. You just have to ask people if they're interested in learning about the gold and silver market. And when they are, we point them into the system that 7K has created by sharing those videos out. That first video did pretty much the whole presentation that Bob and I just did, and which was probably close to an hour, and it did it in 8 or 9 minutes. Is it thorough, deep dive? No. But Bob and I can bring that to the next step with those people that you introduce it to that are interested in learning how to buy gold and silver fractionally and how to liquidate it at the best prices in the market. And once we get that opportunity with them, again, 7K's created great share videos. Bob and I have a system that we bring everybody through to teach them how to share with other people and as well. So with that.
And so I truly believe, as Todd, that we're blessed because we are 7K members, and you can be too if you want to join us now. Or for those that have been members of 7K in our previous older model, where we had it shipped to us, and now just learning about the Sound Money Wallet account, if you re-engage, and here's why. I'm just going to talk about facts now. Facts that you and I and everyone else need to know about, because we're not talking about gold and silver. Many of us have these collectible coins. They're in Stack and Sell. We've scanned the coins. They're there. They're registered to us. They're in our name. But they also contain intrinsic value. Every one of those collectible coins have a ½ ounce or 1 ounce of silver, or a fractional ounce of gold, or a full ounce of gold. And that has value. Just think about what I'm going to talk about today. That's all there, registered, inventoried in your name, and it has accounts for it. And you didn't have to do it. You used the digital world. The Sound Money Wallet allows you to now accumulate wealth through God's money, gold and silver, sound money, in an affordable way, and have it stored and secured in your Sound Money Wallet. Let me give you an example now. I want you to understand, I put together this presentation in September the 8th. So some of the numbers, and we're going to update it. But here's the thing. I put it together in September 8th, and look what happened since then. So that's an important part to look at. Now, back in April, May of 2023, May 23rd, 2023, Pamela and I, we bought $25,000 worth of 1 ounce silver, 1 ounce gold coin, 1 ounce gold bars. And in September, I could have clicked the button, sold them back to Sound Money. I would have got $43,255. Today, I can click that button. I did not sell it. I left it in that Sound Money wallet. Today, I would get over $47,000. So it's a good thing I left it in there, right? And I'm going to still leave it in there. Now, here's the facts that I want you to know about. Since 1975, gold had a low of $114 an ounce. When I put this presentation together in September, the high was $33.75, and the current on that day was $35.53 an ounce. Today, it's over $4,000 an ounce. Silver, since 1975, had a low of $4. The high was $41.02 when I put the presentation together. Currently, on that day, it was $40.76. Today, it's over $48 an ounce. So we need to own gold and silver, and these are the reasons why. So let's look at other paper. I always like to look at the Dow because all your financial advisors, they advised us really well, and we lost a lot of money in the stock market. Okay, over our 35 years, we lost a lot of money in the stock market. But the Dow at the end of 1970 was 838, and gold was just $35 an ounce. So the value of the Dow in gold was about $24 an ounce. Fast forward to 2025. The Dow hit its all-time high of 46,714. By the way, it's already hit another high since then. And when I put it together, over 47,000. But gold at that time was $35.53 an ounce. That meant the Dow was $13.15 an ounce. So in 55 years, the Dow has gone from 24 ounces of gold to 13.15 ounces of gold. But today at $4,000, it's less than 12 ounces of gold. So what should we be keeping our money in? The Dow or gold and silver? That's the question. I think the answer is very obvious. Today, or when I put the presentation together, there was about 87 or 89 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. So you'd have to spend 89 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. Well, that's an awful high ratio, and I think you'll agree with me that this ratio is an important number to understand, and it's all part of education. So let's look at it over time. Over time, the low has been 14-1. But here's the important thing. For 673 years, the ratio of silver produced, the ratio of gold produced, it was 16 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold for 673 years. That's not true today. Okay, it went from a low of 14 to the current 87, but the 50-year average was 47-1. That's the average. So averages are important for long term because there's a lot of reasons for the ups and downs, and a lot of it has to do with the manipulation of the silver market. But here's the important part. If you want to be in the top percentage in the world of owning silver, if you just own 5,000 ounces of silver, you're in the top 0.1% in the world. So congratulations if you're in that group with us. You're very, very smart. And if you got of it, even if it's sitting in collectible coins, remember it's got an intrinsic value plus a collectability value. Very smart. Collectible coins gain value with time. They're not something you buy and sell, kind of like bullion, okay? More of a commodity or more the reserve. But if you only own 50 ounces of bullion, silver bullion, you're in the top 10% owners in the world. These are facts. To get in the top 5%, all you have to do is own 150 ounces. I think just about all of us members of 7K own 150 ounces of silver. And so we are blessed. Now, 7K will be starting its 10th year in November of this year. Now, we just registered in 43 more countries. So we're certified, we're registered, we can do business, we're expanding, we're going to be a global company. We're now open in 63 countries. But of those countries that we're opening in, there's not a new member. They're going to have to be a pioneer, kind of like I was, Todd. You know, there wasn't many members until I had my first meeting at George and Sandra's house, and we got our first 15 members that joined us that night. Okay, and that's expanded to over 30,000, okay, in a left team and a right team. That's pretty cool. That's how I met the Todd father. But here's an important fact. Back in September, from 2020 until September 8th, when I put the presentation together, silver had increased 190%. Today, we're talking over 225% already. Since I put that presentation together, that's what's happened. Now, why is silver rising so fast? It's because of the rising demand of silver, and we have a deficit in supply. Remember, I was telling you about the 673 years, the ratio had been 16 ounces of silver produced for every 1 ounce of gold. We're going to talk about what that is today, but let's talk about the demand first. Why is silver? Silver is consumed. It's unlike gold. Silver is consumed. It's used up. It's put in our phones. Everybody got one of those phones. There's 1.3 billion of those smartphones produced each year. And it has 0.25 to 0.35 grams of silver in every smartphone. That's not too easily recovered. But here's the big new consumers: AI, robotics, the big computing centers. Everybody's hearing about all these big cloud computing centers that's being built all over the United States right now. Well, they consume a lot of silver. And those data centers, that's what I'm talking about, the computing center and the data centers, okay? Oh, the increase in demand is more than 35% per year. Well, we just don't produce that much silver. We're not producing as much as we're consuming now. They're going to have to produce more, and the silver is not as easy to extract, so it costs a lot more to get it out. So I'm going to revisit that old 673 years of 16-to-1 supply, 16 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. Today, in September of 2025, and it is to today, even in November, it's 7 ounces of silver produced for every 1 ounce of gold, because silver is a byproduct production. It's no longer you get the pure silver veins anymore. We already know where all the silver and gold is around the world. Y'all know those things called satellites? That's been happening for decades. Well, the silver that's harder to get to and to refine cost a lot more to pull out of the ground and refine to 999 silver. Today it's just 7-to-1. And that's not a statistic, that's a warning. But it's a great warning for us that are getting educated in gold and silver and have sound money accounts, and that can buy affordable quantities and store safe and secure. Now, the question is, could silver rise another 190%? Based on what facts that I know in terms of increasing demand and consumption and decrease in supply, I think that's an obvious answer that you and I both can agree with. Our biggest advantage is the number of people currently buying gold and silver. Now, why is that an advantage? Let's say that 1% of people in America are actively buying silver and gold. Actively buying is the key, not having already in your hand. Actively buying means that you're buying about 10 ounces or more silver every month. That's actively buying in terms of silver. So how many people are buying 10 ounces of silver every month? Well, a lot of us 7K members are. A lot of us are buying gold too, okay? Incremental, of course, but we're buying it. So if only 1% of America, and that many think that is an overinflated number of the experts. So what happens when that number doubles, triples, 5 times? Now, why would they double, triple, and 5 times? Why would well, when everybody hears about how gold and silver is going up, don't you think they're going to be starting to buy some? That's normally what happens, isn't it? So what happens when 1 in 10 people are buying silver? You know what the NE stands for? There isn't enough, not enough silver. And so let's go to that ratio, that very important ratio. Now, remember, when I put this together, the gold price was only $33.75. I said, what if it's 4,000? Because many experts agree that gold's going to be somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 before the end of 2025. So I put that number down there. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be 4,000, 7,000, 15,000, 30,000 in the next 5 years, 10 years. But what if it is? Wouldn't you want to be prepared? Wouldn't you want to participate in that? There's a lot of experts that agree that $30,000 within the next 5 years is highly plausible. So if a lot of experts believe that's highly plausible, why wouldn't I want to have some gold and silver? So is it too late because gold's at $4,000 now? Absolutely not.
No way.
Well, let's look at that ratio. Since we know now that we're pulling less silver out and there's a higher consumption of it, well, don't y'all think that $50 an ounce is pretty low for silver? Well, a lot of experts think that you'll see in a second what I pulled out that the majority of experts think. But they believe that this price, once it stops being controlled by J.P. Morgan and the COMEX and the LBME, then guess what? Silver's going to seek its right supply-demand price in the marketplace. So let's just take that 7-to-1 ratio, and let's say that gold's at $4,000 an ounce. So if you use the 7-to-1, the real ratio of production of gold and silver, which is a natural thing to use, then silver would be much more than $80 an ounce, wouldn't it? Pretty close to it, right? It'd be 70-something, right?
At 7-to-1?
At 7-to-1.
So if gold's at 4,000.
If gold's at 4,000, it's going to be
Got it. It's going to be $571.
That's right, 500 if it's 7-to-1. So those ratios of what I did here on this chart is I used that historic ratio of 1 to 47. So I just said 1 to 50.
Right.
Okay. So that means $80 is still a suppressed price if gold's at 4. So 50 is suppressed, still artificially controlled. So here's the good news. This is what all the experts say. This is not what Bob Reed says. This is just an amalgamation. The majority of experts, what they believe that the price of silver will be within the next 2 years. I think that's very plausible. Well, even if it isn't, what are we losing? That's the whole purpose of getting gold and silver is diversification. And that's why everyone needs that sound money wallet. Silver is the future, the short-term future, because it has the highest probability of the highest growth in the short-term future. But it is controlled. It is very volatile. So you got to be prepared for that. Now, our autosaver that we have in Subcane, we've been having for 9 years, is a stored value of money with that intrinsic 1 ounce, even if it's the MS-70 Silver Eagle product. What if silver is $300 an ounce? Well, you got 1 ounce of silver in that MS-70, right? That's much more than what we've been paying for it. So it's a great value. I think a lot of people are going to be very happy. So their stack and sell, they don't have to worry about what the current market price is. It's what our future value is. And that's what we should always be looking at about our stack and sell. But our sound money wallet effect is where we really are going to get the greatest benefit. And that's why everyone needs to be buying on a regular basis gold and silver. Yeah, I agree with the experts. Silver's about to take off like a rocket ship. And I want to thank you for letting me share these facts that I'm aware of with you so that you can have enough information to make informed decisions and that you can join our team and learn even more. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. I think one of the things I'd like to bring up is back to the usability of silver and gold. That's something that's not talked about very much. Bob mentioned in there that silver is, I don't think you used the phrase high conductor of electricity, but it's one of the best conductors of electricity that's out there, which is why there's that little bit of silver in every cell phone, everything that's got a battery, a plug, or an internet connection. If it flies in the air, on and on and on. If it's got computerization in it, it's got silver as the primary conductor of electricity in it. And as Bob mentioned, it's hard to get that out. But guess what? When silver gets up to a couple $100s an ounce, people are going to be buying back your old cell phones for a lot more than they are right now, because that silver inside of it is worth digging out of it, melting back down, and turning it into another asset. On the flip side, people want to know, well, isn't gold good for that? And yeah, gold does conduct electricity a little bit, not quite as good as silver. But here's the thing. What is gold used for on a daily basis? I can only think of a couple instances. It's used in some artwork. Yep, got some gold jewelry on. It's used in... see, what else is gold used for? I think there's some rappers out there that like to use it for their teeth. Other than that, there's not a lot of usability function for gold. But silver continues to be highly consumed, as Bob mentioned, at an alarming rate. It's being mined out of the earth just to keep creating these devices that we all carry around. So I think with that information that Bob just gave you guys, again, we're not trying to give financial advice or predict where silver is going to go in the future or gold's going to go in the future. But if you do your own homework, it becomes pretty evident that the upside to precious metals has not even begun to be touched yet. And so back to that question that I asked or I mentioned before the break, is it too late to get involved with silver and gold? Absolutely not. It's actually, in my opinion, we're at the ground floor. Would it have been good to buy it at $1 an ounce back in 1965? Well, I wasn't alive then, so I couldn't have done that. But I was born in the early 70s, and I wish that someone had taught me these things when I was a young man. Because, man, I would have loved it, instead of buying some stupid toys along the way and fishing lures or whatever, I would have loved to set a little bit more aside for silver and gold, because I'd like to be sitting here in my mid-50s on a big old lump that I started buying way back when it was a couple dollars an ounce. Not when I started. It was, I think when my wife and I, Julianne, started buying silver in 2020, it was something like $17, $18 an ounce, and today it's approaching $48, $49 an ounce. That's quite the upswing in just these last 4 years. It's been the greatest thing that's happened to us financially, and that's actually how I met Bob. He'd had a 7K Metals membership back into 2016. My wife and I didn't even know each other at the time. We both signed up with 7K Metals at the end of August of 2021, and this has just been an incredible ride. And the education that Bob's been able to give me and everybody else that's in his organization has been invaluable, and that's why we want to invite all of you to join our team, become part of the culture and the climate that we have here, become a 7K Metals member and a part of the organization that Bob and I are building with Joe the Box and the America First Warehouse. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close and just remind you guys that if you go to TAFW, it's TAFW, soundmoney.com, you can make an appointment to talk to one of our experts there. We'll answer all your questions and help you get enrolled. And last but not least, I again want to take a moment to acknowledge all the veterans that served the United States selflessly and gave of so much, so much. We have several veterans that were in the room today, including Bob and myself, and we appreciate you very much. And with that, on behalf of Joe the Box, I'm going to sign off. I don't know if Johnny Blankett's running around here somewhere, if he wanted to say anything as we went, but I want to thank you all for coming today. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.